The first two challenges on what is a while loop are multiple choice. The first one asks us true or false. Only use a while loop when the number of iterations the loop will require is unknown. This is true. If you know the number of iterations that you need to do with your loop, you're going to want to use a for loop, and that is to avoid the case of an infinite loop, right? That's the main downfall of a while loop is that if you forget, if you're using a counter and you forget to increment that counter inside of the while loop, it's going to run infinitely. Your program's never going to end or continue on to finish what it needs to do. And eventually it might actually do damage to your hardware, right? Depending on how complex the calculations inside that while loop are. So this one is going to be, we only want to use it when that's unknown, right? And we can see that's correct. The second question asks, what condition does a while loop check to see if it should keep going? It checks a Boolean statement declared at the beginning of a while loop, a stopping condition inside of an if-else block inside the while loop, counter over a range of values, much like a for loop, or none of the above. And typically, right, the syntax is going to be a Boolean statement, right? And that's just going to be in the same structure as an if statement where we say if this variable double equals true or 9 or greater than 7, right? We can use another one of those conditional statements, right? That will return a Boolean, right? True, false. That condition is either going to be true or false. And based on that Boolean, the while loop will either continue or not, whether it's true or false, respectively. So let's go ahead and check that out, and we can see that's correct, right? You technically could make a stopping condition inside of an if-else block inside the while loop if you were to use like the break command, right? Which would break the loop and go ahead and move on with what's next in the code after the loop. But typically that's not very Pythonic. That's not what you would want to do. You're going to want to use that while loop followed by a conditional statement. That's it for these two challenges. The next challenge is a coding challenge, and then we'll see you in the next lesson about infinite while loops.